All right, man, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Key coming at y'all boys with a brand new video, and today we got another one for y'all boys. Now, with that being said, if you have not heard, it's happened like a couple weeks ago. There's a rapper coming out of Chicago. He was like 14 years old. Q50wlil50. Now, name don't even make sense, but nonetheless, he claims to be a savage, a killer, you know what I'm saying? Somebody really living that life, coming from that Psycho Gang set, PGF over there with PGF Nook, you know what I'm saying? Free him. He just caught he caught a crazy case. But nonetheless, he was killed at 14 in the alleyway, and they saying that somebody from a rival gang put a hit on him. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. All channel links and social medias is down in the description below. Let's check it out.
Now.
Oh no.
Your last or the last song you dropped came around flexing. That got almost 250,000 views in a month.
Oh no.
That got you a lot of attention, right?
Yeah. I ain't know that bitch gonna do that. I think we got 100K in like a week. I mean like 3 weeks. 8 days. Yeah, I'm tweaking. Yeah, like 8 days. 100K 8 days.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I was happy as hell that bitch.
Alright, so at 15 years old, Q50wlil50, a rising rapper from Chicago's South Side, has been ambushed and taken out. His interview with DJU just dropped about 48 hours ago, and before that, DJU had talked about Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Lil Scoom, both of whom were gone shortly after their interviews.
This video, I want to say, bro, the DJU curse is not a real thing, bro. Everybody want to say you're going to DJU and you die. No, these folks really be living that life, and he's bringing them on the platform to give their music and other things that they're doing exposure. Now, does it come with your opposition knowing more and this, that, and the third, and one of you more, you come a bigger target? Yes, but focus on your music, because that's what's going to rule. You're going to be in the streets for however long you're going to be, and it's going to lead to death or jail. This rap shit, this music shit can lead to millions. A whole different life for your people.
But in the past 6 months, we've seen 3 people go down after their interviews on that platform. Now, people are starting to talk about DJU's platform being cursed after that last interview with Q50wlil50. The beef behind it was wild, with his sister calling out the person responsible and even putting a $20,000 bounty on their head. Now, his own cousin is trolling his death. There's a lot to unpack here, but let's break down this beef that ended up taking out a promising talent in Chicago's music scene. So let's dive into it.
I ain't gonna play.
On my dead cousin, my little brother did not go out like no goofy. On my dead cousin, he didn't. On my dead cousin, my little brother went out blowing. Be on your way, I don't get no. My little brother did not go out like no goofy. And I know that's for a fact.
If you're into drill music, you probably stumbled across Q50wlil50 while browsing through YouTube, especially if you were looking up videos related to Bloodhound Q50. These guys have been racking up views pretty quickly. You know those YN memes you've probably seen floating around, the ones where it says he a YN pulls up on you with a switch? Yeah, this is basically the real life version of that. These YNs are wild, and they're mad young, and people have been calling them out for trying to copy the style of Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Bloodhound Q50. If you're looking up to folks like him, that from Riv, your life's pretty much done for.
They young as hell. ARP.
Play that, Quan. Hey, yeah, play that. Turn it up. We're about to shoot this right here.
But it wasn't just from Bloodhound's influence that turned them into these crash dummies. It's something that's been passed down from another legendary crash out that you've probably heard of. Q50wlil50 reps Black PE Stones from the West Inglewood area, a gang called PGF, Psycho Gang Forever, named after their fallen member, Psycho, who was killed in 2017. Their biggest name was PGF Nook, who was making some serious noise in the city a few years ago, even collabing with Polo G and other big rappers. But things went sideways for him, and he ended up locked up for a while after multiple carjackings. Dude had a whole record, songs with huge artists, but ended up caught up in the streets again. Q50wlil50 was originally from the 69th and Pina area. He says back in the day he was bad, stealing bikes around the neighborhood. Over time, things escalated, and he ended up linking with members from 59th and Pointer, where PGF is based. He was raised mostly by his sister, who was just a couple of years older
Nah, I
than
ain't
him
gonna
because
cap,
their mom
though.
kicked them both
That
out.
shit,
These
nah,
are rough
obviously, they was
circumstances,
probably
man.
bad as hell for their mama to kick them out and this, that, and the third. But that is not how you handle your kids. You need to be a fucking parent. You need to be a parent. And that's what I was saying. A lot of people have kids, but they not parents. You need to be a parent. I got parents. Snatch my little ass up. You know what I'm saying? Get me right. When I was
And
a
it
kid,
led him straight
like,
into that crash out lifestyle. Q50 had beef with a lot of people, both online and in real life, and they were known for airing all their business out. It gained him a lot of enemies, but also a lot of attention and fans. The problem is, the same things that get you all clout can also end your life. Now we gotta break down how all this went down. The beef that led to everything. I'm not sure if he was trying to be like Bloodhound Lil Jeff or King Von, but the stuff like this that he was posting online was next level. The amount of people trying to take him out, just based on the mess he was involved in, could have been anyone. Imagine beefing with your own cousin to the point where after you get killed, your cousin is out there dissing you. Man, what the fuck? But that's apparently what happened to Q50wlil50 after his cousin, Lil Speedy, came out and dissed him after his death. So apparently the tension between Q50wlil50 and Lil Speedy really kicked off when Q50 swiped Lil Speedy's pipe. And word is that Lil Speedy has some ties to Drill City, or at least the younger members of it. On top of that, Fully Chopped pretty much admitted to shooting up Lil Speedy's house a few months back. These guys have been moving wild, like they really don't care about staying free, so when crazy stuff happens, and honestly, it's not surprising. The whole situation is something I still can't wrap my head around. You know, but it ain't funny, but damn, this shit is just wild. But as if that wasn't already messy enough, there was an even darker beef brewing that seems to have cost the lives of a few more people. The ones linked to a crash out internet beef PGF had with another set from the south side called 147. 147 is a group coming up from the Yards neighborhood, and they've got a rapper named Black Boy Bobo who was starting to make a name for himself until he got arrested for a bunch of armed robberies. I mean, the dude raps about armed robberies in almost every song, so it's no surprise that's what caught up to him. Dude's in his late 20s, but it seems like he got caught up with the younger members of 147 in a brutal war with PGF, which led to someone close to Glock Boy Bobo being killed. Now, Glock Boy Bobo had a homie named Murdoch, who's got a crazy reputation. Allegedly, had 10 bodies to his name. Murdoch got killed in a revenge shooting back in 2022 while he was out walking with his dog. His younger brother, Baby Drake, also known as Baby Doc, was tied in with 147, and things got even worse between the two gangs just a few months ago. It's unclear exactly what started the beef with PGF, but given how close these sets are, it seems they've been at odds for years, fighting over territory, get-backs, and all that typical gangbang drama. Here's where things get messy though. Glock Boy Bobo, who was just arrested a few days before a tragedy hit, was locked up for armed robbery around the same time something tragic went down with his best friend's brother. They didn't release the names of the victims, probably because they were so young. So it's hard to tell for sure if this is when Baby Doc passed, but when you line up the timing, it definitely seems like it could have been him. On September 22nd, 2024, Baby Doc, a 15-year-old, was hanging out on the 5700 block of South Walcott Avenue. He was standing by the sidewalk when a vehicle pulled up, and at least one person inside got out and opened fire, hitting him several times in the legs. The car sped off, but by the time the police arrived, it was too late. He'd bled out from his injuries. Shortly after, members of PGF took to social media, mocking Baby Doc and claiming that they were involved in the shooting. Fully Chopped posted pictures of guns and switches, pretty much implying that he had something to do with it, making it easy for everyone to see where he stood. But just because these guys say they were behind it doesn't mean they actually were. With so many gangs around Chicago, man, it could have been anyone, but Fully Chopped made it clear he thought they played a part. While PGF was busy calling out Baby Doc online, an unsettling interview was about to drop, setting the stage for what seemed like a get back a month later. DJ U, who's had a controversial track record, posted interviews that seemed to follow a deadly pattern. 3 people had been killed after appearing on his platform in just 6 months. Man, is DJ U somehow setting these people up? Or were they just people on a dangerous path already, and he was capitalizing on their stories? It's a complicated question, and honestly, it's hard to say for sure. Just 2 days ago, DJ U posted an interview with Fully Chopped and Lil50, and the response was negative. At one point in the interview, DJ U literally asked, "Shouldn't you guys be in school?" but kept interviewing them anyway. It was a bizarre moment, but I guess in a way, it's better that he's giving them a platform to speak on rather than letting them keep pushing reckless behavior to get noticed.
Man, y'all young as hell, and according to what I see online, y'all living a street life, okay? And y'all know, I'm sure y'all know by now, the two things that come with the street life, right? So with me being 33, I'm down there old enough to be y'all pops. So it's like I can't even not give y'all the speech, you know what I'm saying, while y'all here, you know. We interview a lot of young guys, and we've had several guys that, you know, left us this year. You feel me? This was a rough year for us, you know. So I ain't nobody dead, even though I'm old enough to be. But my thing is, you know, y'all young, y'all talented. You feel me? Y'all really got the potential to do whatever y'all want to do. You know, you can use the bullshit to draw them in. You know what I'm saying? But once you lock them in, you know, you want to keep them there. You see what I'm saying? So that's it. You know, I don't want to, you know, overdo it, but I just want y'all to be safe. You feel me? Keep your head up. You know, stay out of trouble.
Not hearing them at all.
You know what I'm saying? With the internet.
In the interview, DJU tried to give a preachy warning saying you're either gonna die or you're gonna jail if you stay in these streets. But they didn't care. They were too busy on their phones living that wild lifestyle. What stood out though was how they took every chance to diss their enemies. The interview ended with Lil 50 saying he sweeps the streets and takes out the trash, implying he was really about that life. That moment of blatant disrespect has led some to believe that Q50wlil50's death was directly tied to this interview. The irony, DJU gave them a stay safe warning at the end, but just 48 hours later, he posted a condolence message after a shooting took out Q50wlil50. Between the time of the interview and now, Q50wlil50 reportedly had a falling out with his cousin, Lil Speedy. There's a belief among some that Q50wlil50 may have dropped his location to confront Lil Speedy, but somehow, the opposition found out where he was. There's speculation that Q50wlil50 could have unwittingly given up his location to the wrong people. On the evening of October 22nd, around 8:24 p.m., shots rang out in the dark alley on the 6600 block of South Chaplin Ave in the West Woodlawn neighborhood. But by the time witnesses reached the scene, they found Q50wlil50 lying in the alley, his body riddled with bullets. They called the police and tried to revive him, but it was too late. He died from his injuries shortly after. The multiple gunshot wounds he sustained were fatal. In the aftermath, Lil Speedy took to social media, trolling the situation heavily. He posted about it on his story.
This nigga sent his location to his cousin, which he got something going on with. They say he stole a pipe or whatever. Okay, cool. If that was his cousin who did what he did, you bogus as hell. Regardless if he stole your gun, killing your cousin is crazy, especially over a gun. When you think about it, like I said, rationalize it in your head, bro. Depending on what gun it is, bro, more than likely it was just like a regular handgun. That's anywhere from $200 to like $600-700, bro. Think about it, bro. You just killed somebody and could possibly get life in jail over $700. You can make that in a week working at McDonald's. You feel me? So it's like, bro, certain shit, bro, and I know they gonna miss the respect aspect of it. Man, nobody trying to hear shit, bro. That's your cousin, bro. Even if you was to slime him out back or something, bro, don't kill him. You feel me? But another thing, though, is you can tell they young, they naive. All the older guys talking about saying they can't get my low. I ain't dropping my low. Except for Bloodhound Lil Jeff, that is. They can't get my location. I ain't dropping my low. This, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Shawty can't set me up. I ain't gonna go. Like, and then you got this youngin', bro. Nigga was just too naive, bro. Gave his location out, and when he gave his location, they came and did that to him. You know what I'm saying? It's nobody but his fault, but he's still a young individual lost in the streets that could have been guided correctly.
The situation in a way that many found distasteful. He even went as far as to say his sister made a disturbing video where she claimed they were putting up large sums of money, $20,000 for the person who shot Q50wlil50 and $30,000 for Speedy himself. The offer only added fuel to the fire, further intensifying the already violent and vengeful cycle that is tragically all too common in Chicago.
Jada did this, Jada could have stopped it, Jada did that. I knew, like, y'all was gonna blame me. When it first happened, for anything I posted, I knew it.
Chicago is a city with a long history of gang violence, and it's no secret that the streets can feel like a war zone. With so many different gangs operating in the city, it's difficult to keep track of all the conflicts and shootings, as the violence seems to keep escalating. What's worse is that people are increasingly desensitized to it, constantly trying to one-up each other and settle scores. The tragic part is that people like Q50wlil50 and Lil Speedy had real potential. They were gaining traction online, pulling in hundreds of thousands of views, and they were still young, still in school. They could have made something out of their lives if they had the right people around them, guiding them in the right direction though. But the reality for many of these kids is that they come from broken families with little to no guidance and are surrounded by influences that pull them deeper into the cycle of violence. It's hard to break out that environment when that's all you know. So, while they may have had a shot at something better, the environment around them made it nearly impossible to escape that fate. The question now is whether they'll learn anything from losing a close friend like Q50wlil50. Could his death be the wake-up call that helps them change their ways? Unfortunately, in many cases, that cycle just continues. So the answer is most definitely no. The hardest part about all this is that these young people are trapped in a system where violence seems like the only answer, and the prospect of doing better or achieving something different is often overshadowed by the harsh realities of street life. The pattern is frustratingly familiar: a life lost to senseless violence, a retaliatory response that only leads to more death. And when you have figures like DJU who have a reputation for interviewing people who end up on the wrong side of life, it only adds to the suspicion that the platform itself plays a role in perpetuating these deadly cycles. DJU's platform gives these individuals attention, but the violence that follows doesn't stop once the interview is over. It continues to play out, often tragically. At the end of the day, it's clear that change will only come when someone in that community makes the choice to break the cycle. But with the environment they're surrounded by, it's hard to see how that can happen. Hopefully, people start to learn from the consequences, but it's not easy when the streets continue to call. The rap scene in Chicago has long been a source of creativity and talent, but it's also been marred by violence and conflict, both in the streets and within the music industry. The city has given rise to some of the most influential voices in hip-hop, but it's also become known for the deep-rooted rivalries that have led to real-world consequences. These beefs, particularly the infamous ones between different factions or sets, often spill over from lyrics into the streets with tragic outcomes. However, there are steps that can be taken to stop this cycle of violence, and rap music itself can be a key part of that solution. To begin addressing the issue of rap beefs in Chicago, it's important to understand the nature of these conflicts at their core. Many of these beefs stem from territorial disputes, personal grudges, or historical conflicts between different groups. Rivalries in Chicago's rap scene, like those in other cities, often reflect larger societal issues such as poverty, systemic inequality, and the struggles of growing up in a high-crime environment. While beef in the rap scene can be seen as part of the competitive nature of the genre, they often take on a darker tone when personal and violent histories are involved. The idea of beefing or engaging in verbal clashes with other artists is not new to hip-hop. In fact, rap has long been a genre where artists express themselves through battle lyrics, challenging one another in a way that's meant to be competitive, not necessarily harmful. But in the context of Chicago's streets, where the line between music and reality can often blur, these beefs can escalate quickly. What might start as a lyrical jab can turn into real-life violence. Unfortunately, this cycle has been seen repeatedly in the city, where rappers who began with promising careers end up becoming victims of street violence or incarcerated, trapped in a cycle that they can't escape. One of the first steps in stopping the cycle of rap beefs is promoting peace through music itself. Chicago's rap scene is diverse, and many of the artists who come out of the city have the potential to be powerful voices for change. Music has always been a vehicle for social commentary, and artists can use their platform to address the issues they face in their communities without resorting to violence. Instead of focusing on rivalry, artists can choose to focus on things that unite them. Shared struggles, dreams, and aspirations for a better life.
Like Dirk and Youngboy. Dirk in jail, Youngboy in jail, Quando Rondo is about to go to jail. The only person, and King Von is dead. You know what I'm saying? There are no winners in this shit. Unless you can find a way to do what you got to do. Or even if y'all rap beefing, but y'all fake rap beefing to the point where y'all like, okay, boom, we're going to come together at this time. And we're going to get this shit together. Like, do something. Beefing the beef going to lead to death. And just lost shit. But narrator talking that talk though.
Hip-hop has the power to bring people together, to heal wounds and build bridges. Additionally, collaboration between artists from rival factions can help diffuse tensions. In many cases, beefs escalate because artists feel that they must defend their reputation or assert dominance over their rivals. This often leads to a constant back and forth of diss tracks, social media jabs, and ultimately violence. If artists from different groups could come together to work on music or other creative projects, they would be demonstrating to the audiences that cooperation and collaboration is possible, even in an environment that has long been defined by divisions. The role of the community and the people around these artists also cannot be underestimated. The pressures of the streets and the need to protect one's reputation are powerful forces, but they're not insurmountable. Mentorship plays a crucial role in preventing young artists from getting caught up in the same destructive patterns that have plagued the city's rap scenes for decades. Older artists who have lived through the turmoil and seen the consequences of violence can step in to guide younger artists, offering advice, wisdom, and support. This can involve connecting artists with positive outcomes, such as youth programs, business opportunities, or initiatives that promote community improvement. The music industry as a whole could also play a role by investing in such programs and encouraging artists to use their influence for good. But nah, they're greedy. All they want is money. Another important factor in curbing violence in the rap scene is the involvement of local organizations and community leaders. Many of the issues facing Chicago's youth are deeply rooted in socio-economic conditions, and addressing these larger issues can go a long way toward reducing violence. Community leaders who are connected to the streets and understand the challenges young people face can provide valuable guidance in helping to break the cycle. This can include things like job training, education, and mental health support, which are essential to giving young people the tools they need to succeed without resorting to violence or crime. The media, too, has a responsibility in how it portrays the beef and violence in the rap scene. Often, the media focuses on the sensational aspects of the conflict, highlighting the drama and the violence rather than the potential for peace and reconciliation. While it's important to acknowledge the realities of the situation, the media could also play a role in shifting the narrative towards more positive and constructive stories. By showcasing artists who are working to promote peace and collaboration, the media can help change the perception of Chicago's rap scene, from one dominated by violence to one that celebrates creativity, unity, and progress. On a personal level, artists can also take steps to protect themselves and their well-being. Many young artists, especially those from challenging environments, may not fully understand the potential consequences of their words and actions. Being mindful of the impact that their music and social media presence have on their audience can help prevent further escalation. Artists can use their platforms to speak out against violence, advocate for change, and promote positive messages. The power of a positive message can't be underestimated, especially when it comes from someone who has the ear of a large audience. So stopping rap beefs and the violence associated with them will require a multifaceted approach. It's not just about the music, it's about addressing the systemic issues that contribute to violence, providing support and guidance to artists, and creating a culture that values collaboration over conflict. Chicago's rap scene has the potential to be a force for positive change, but it'll take effort from all sides to shift the focus away from beef and toward more constructive and meaningful music. Man, with the right support, mentorship, and community involvement, Chicago's artists can lead the way in showing how rap music can be a tool for peace and not destruction.
Sheesh, man.
Yo, so thanks for watching this video.
Ain't speaking nothing but facts though. I can't cap, you know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing but respect it. Whether you like what he's saying or not, you can't do nothing but respect it. So with that being said, man, I want to go ahead and say RIP Q50 with Lil 50. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to go out like that, bro. Guidance. And not only guidance, but you know what I'm saying, he was naive. You should never drop your load, this, that, and the third, thinking that you flexing something or that somebody's scared of what you got going on, because I was always told a scared person to kill you. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Get in that comment box, tell me how you felt about this video. With that being said, it's your boy Key checking in, checking out. We gone.